just want to talk to y'all, kind of tell you about my life, my military career, and bring you up to date on to what I'm doing right now. I grew up about 25 minutes from here in a little small town of Harlton, Texas, to a family of 10 children. There are 5 boys and 5 girls in my family. And no, they didn't have the abstinence program when my parents were growing up. So anyway, we grew up very poor, but our parents, if they didn't teach us anything else, they taught us how to work hard for what we want. And as a young man, when it got to the point to where as I was getting ready to graduate, like you all are, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go to college at that particular time, because I was sick of school. I was like, I'm grown, you know how you start kind of feeling yourself. Y'all wouldn't know anything about that, though. You start feeling yourself, thinking you're grown, and don't want anybody to tell you anything to do. And so I chose the military. I chose the Air Force. And I spent 9 years, 9 months in the United States Air Force. I spent all of my time overseas. And growing up as a young man there in Harlton, I had behavior issues. Okay? I had behavior issues. I would push teachers' buttons just because I could. I knew how. I was a master at it, or I thought anyway. And teachers would say things like this. They would say, boy, I sure do hope I don't have that Patrick Johnson in my class. You know, and other teachers would ask why. And it was because of my behavior, and rightfully so. And it wasn't anything they were doing. It was the way that I saw myself and the things that I had been through, and I chose to act out. I chose to make bad choices. And how many of you know you get to a point in your life to where as you get sick and tired of being sick and tired? See, if you always do what you have always done, students, you will simply always get what you have always got. If you want something that you've never had before, you have to do something that you've never done before. Life is about choices. You get out of life what you put into it. If you put little work, a little effort into your schoolwork, your grades are going to reflect that. And this is the thing that gets me. I'm very upfront and real about when I speak, because I do this all the time at schools and assemblies and different things. We all want the mountaintop experience, but we don't want to go through the valley. Everybody wants a good grade or whatever, but sometimes we don't want to put in the work in order to get it. Everybody wants a raise, but we don't want to do the work in order to get the raise. You've got to pay your dues. Hard work pays off. If you want that quick, fast, easy way, if I had a dime for every student, I run a program and I work with students with behavior issues primarily. If I had a dime for every student that told me, you ain't none of my mama, you ain't none of my daddy, you don't tell me what to do, I'd be rich by now. Life is about choices. You got to figure out what you're going to do. Do something that makes you happy. I'm happy. I get to come here and I get to speak to y'all. I live for moments like this. I do. I was up at 5:45 this morning. I live for moments like this because this is an opportunity for me to share with you all, to be upfront and be real or whatever, and tell you about real life issues that are going on, because you're getting ready. It's like this. Me and my wife, Shannon, I'm married. My wife's a coach and teacher at Harlton High School. We have 6 children. We have only 2 at home. We have a 11-year-old son, and we have a 15-year-old daughter who's a sophomore there at the high school. So when Elijah was small, right? We go to church, we go to Walmart, different places, and everything I said he would say. We go in, I said, hey, how's it going? I see somebody that I knew. He said, hey, how's it going? I said, how are you? He said, how are you? And so when we get ready to cross the street, right, we grab his hands and look left, look right, and then we cross the street. Well, my point is this. Elijah's going to get to a point in life where he has to cross the street by himself. You all at a point in life now where you have to cross the street by yourself. It's no more mama, no more daddy holding your hands. If y'all want to make it, we live in the greatest country. Over in Africa, students will walk 15 or 20 miles one way to get to school because they value education. Here, whether we ride the big yellow bus or we're privileged to have our own vehicles, mom and dad or friends drop us off however we get here. And sometimes we don't take advantage of those opportunities, students. You can do or be whatever you want to. Again, find out what you love to do. This is what I was created for. I don't struggle to go to work. I don't struggle to work with hard-headed, disrespectful young people. That's what I was created to do. Think about it like this. A doctor solves a medical problem. A lawyer solves a legal problem. A mechanic solves a vehicle problem. What problem, my question to you this morning is, what problem were you created to solve? Think about that for a minute. What problem were you created to solve? I'm not talking about what mom and daddy want me to be. Listen, mom and dad probably want me to be a whole lot of other things, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. What problem, students, were you all created to solve? You're young, you're intelligent, you have everything going for you. The time is right now. You have to take advantage of the opportunities presented to you. You have to learn to seize the moment. Okay? You have to learn to seize the moment. The best part of my job, I have students that I started working with when they were in middle school. And if you're wondering, have I ever worked with any students from Long Beach High School? Yes, quite a few, okay? Jalen Jeffrey, I started working with him, all these students when they were in middle school. I was at his signing day. He signed with Howard Payne University. He's doing great. Cody Rogers, Hallsville High School. Cody just got married a couple of weeks ago. He signed with ETBU. Okay, living and doing great. And last but certainly not least, my Lobo, Travion Webster. Signed with ULM, University of Louisiana Monroe. I had him and his brother Cavante. I'm sure you know him, right? Yeah. He's doing great. I had dinner with Travion over the Christmas holidays here at Texas Roadhouse. He called me up. He had a business plan he wanted to show me. That's how my relationship is with my students. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. Okay, I'm gonna say that again just so some of y'all won't miss that. It's not about how you start. I started out, I was hard-headed, I was disrespectful, I got in trouble at school, but somewhere along the way, and listen students, it didn't take jail or prison for me to change. I just knew I wanted to be something. Then when you grow up and you mature and you have kids, and your kids are watching you, if I'm acting a fool, then more than likely that old adage or that old saying that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, my kids will be just like me, right? But also, if I do something positive and try to live and do what's right, then they should also catch on to that. The worst part of it, I lost some students along the way. I worked for Smith County Juvenile Services years ago. A young man by the name of Timothy Tucker. Tim's grandfather signed him into the program. Grandfather couldn't read or write. Tim got involved in gangs at an early age. 3 guys shot him. They buried him on my birthday, August 10th, 1996. That's the type of work I do. It's not pretty, it's not fun, it's real, it's hard. I would be lying if I stood here and said that I haven't cried. I've cried over many of my students in their situations, some that are no longer here. I've had to help single parents make funeral arrangements because dad is no longer here. That's hard, students. So I'm about reaching students, I'm about motivating and encouraging students to strive to do and be the best that you can, because I'm simply a country boy from the piney woods of East Texas. Okay, and if I can make it, okay, drugs, been there and done that. Alcohol, been there and done that. I don't ever want to come to school and try to sound like I'm all that, whether I'm on YouTube or no tube. I want to be real with you. Drugs, alcohol, been there and done that, students. Didn't do me any good, because when I came down off that high, that problem was still right there in my face, and I still had to deal with it. Okay? Lost my oldest brother years ago to suicide behind drugs. Okay? Dead and gone. And I didn't come here to give you a sad sob story. This is my life, and all a part of it and getting you to understand where I'm coming from. I spent almost 10 years in the Air Force, 9 years, 9 months. Enjoyed it. It was the best time of my life. Before I got out of the military, I started having visions and dreams. I'd wake up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and it would always be something with young people. I could see myself standing like I am this morning, talking to young people, encouraging young people. It was always something with young people. And I've been blessed to live out those dreams. As again, I say, I get to do what I love to do every day. Let me have 3 volunteers real quick, because I don't want to bore you all. I know it's early, so we need a trash can. Let me have, young lady, I thought I saw you with your hand up. Come on. Yes, sir. And you, please. All right, somebody grab the trash can, please.
Ma'am, will you get it?
Did you take that? What's your name? Yamel. All right.
Oh,
Oh, okay, that'll work.
that'll work.
So, Yamel, if you would, young lady, need you to stand right behind the trash can. What's your name, ma'am?
Chloe.
Chloe, if you would you stand back there somewhere? That'll work. What's your name, sir? Edwin, you would stand over there for me, please. So, you said you're Melody, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you look as I can mess up the name. I'm trying to make sure I get it right. Names are important, so. The students, what do I need them to do? Come on, y'all talk to me. Throw the paper in the trash, right? You know, then you can help us. Oh my God. She's amazing. All right, I need you to go ahead. All right, thank you. Now, your partners in crime to our right and left. I don't know how good of a shot they are, so why don't you back up, just in case. All right, go ahead. Okay, go ahead, sir. So, why was it easier for her to make it in?
She was in front of me.
Huh?
She was in front of me. She was right behind me.
Okay. Did all 3 of them have a chance to make it in?
Yes.
But her chance was better, right?
Correct.
Because of her position. Robin Roberts, Good Morning America, said this. She said, proximity is power. She said, you can hope, wish, and pray all day. She said, you have to place yourself in a position to be successful. Okay? Everybody has opportunity. Everybody in this room has a chance to make it. It doesn't matter whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're black, white, Hispanic. That's irrelevant. Everybody has a chance to make it. If I can make it coming up from a family of 10 children, we grew up poor, didn't have anything, I don't want to hear your excuses. Okay? Are you hearing me?
Yes,
You can
sir.
make it. You have to believe that you can make it. Everybody in this world has a chance to make it. Okay, let me help you out here. This is how we start out, but not coming to classes. Not doing your work. I see smiles already. Y'all know I'm keeping it real, right? Yeah.
Sir.
Hanging out with your boys and staying up too late, coming to school, not doing your work. Drugs. Alcohol. It pushes you further and further away. How many of y'all, let me see by show of hands, how many of y'all know somebody or has somebody that's incarcerated right now? I put up 2. Okay, that doesn't have to be you. That doesn't have to be me. I don't have to be like the world of statistics say. That's a choice. I've never been to jail or prison other than to visit somebody at Teach Anger Management, Billy J. Moore Correctional Facility in Overton, Texas. Saw some young people from around the way here, Harlton, Marshall, Longview. Hey, Mr. Johnson. Tears streaming down their face. I'll never forget. Winsboro, the Johnston unit in Winsboro, went over there to speak. Young man that grew up right down the street, a couple of miles. Everybody has a chance to make it. I could have been out there and I could have continued that road of drugs and alcohol. It didn't take jail. It didn't take prison. I woke up and said, you know what? I want to be something. I want to make something of myself. Every day I get to come to work and do what I love to do. What are y'all going to do, students? That's my question to you. What are you going to do? You going to sit there and trip and talk about you don't understand how hard it is? You haven't been through what I've been through. Everybody in this school has a story to tell, right? Let's be real. Some of it we want to talk about, some of it we won't. Because we don't want everybody to know our business, right? Everybody in this school has a story to tell. Everybody either will go through or has gone through or will go through something. You gotta make the best of it. Let's give our demonstrators a hand. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, the young people that I work with, I want y'all to think about this, students. This is back in the day versus today. These were the top disciplinary problems according to public school teachers. Back in the day versus today. Back in the day, it was talking out of turn. Today, drug abuse. Back in the day, chewing gum. Today, alcohol abuse. Back in the day, it was making noise. Today, pregnancy. Back in the day, it was running in the halls. Today, suicide. Back in the day, it was cutting in line. Today, rape. Back in the day, it was dress code infractions. Today, robbery. Back in the day, it was littering. Today, assault. I grew up in a day and time back in the day, and some of your mamas and daddies would tell you those stories that y'all don't want to hear when they talk about back in the day and the music they listen to and all that. I grew up back in the day when we carried guns in our vehicles to school. It wasn't a problem. And if we had a problem with somebody, we didn't go out to the car and get our gun or whatever. We fought or whatever, and if I lost, I left you alone. We usually became friends. Whereas today, we live in a totally different world. You got 4 or 5, some schools 6 or more security officers in the schools. Students, Longview High will only be as great as you make it be. Okay? And I'll say this because I used to work here. So I don't go off of what somebody told me or whatever. Longview High School, I'm so proud of you guys that it's come such a long, long way from when I used to work here years ago when Dr. Taylor and Mr. Birdsong were still here. I'm serious. I'm so proud of you guys. Longview High School. Every time you turn around, it used to be something negative, and we understand. Other schools have issues, and they don't always talk about them, but I'm so proud of you all. Because Longview High School is a great school to be at. And I'm glad and I'm proud to be here on this morning. The tough part of my job, students, like I say, I lost a young man, Timothy Tucker, to the gang fight. Still me enjoying my birthday. I'm at Greater Shiloh Baptist Church in Tyler, Texas, August 10th, 1996, at his funeral. So you imagine a student you work with for about 6 months. You know where he lives, how he lives. Dad was a big-time drug dealer, and he was incarcerated. At the funeral, they brought him there from Huntsville in shackles. It's the worst thing in the world, students looking at Tim lying there in that casket. The other students that I work with. And listen, I tell my kids, all kids, I'm a straight shooter. Okay? You can make it if you want to, but if you get out there and you mess up and you're doing some things you're not supposed to, it's going to catch up with you sooner or later. I don't care who you are, how slick you think you are. This young man here, that's Freddie Rhines. Y'all can't see that, I'll hold it up for you. I worked and I ran the boot camp over at Marshall High School. This young man here in the middle, Freddie Rhines. Okay? Had a violent temper, had a lot of things going on in his life. Remember, we almost got into a physical altercation in the cafeteria at Marshall High School one morning. I had to pull him to the side. That's Freddie right there in that shirt. The heading that says the Marshall News Messenger, that's Freddie right there doing push-ups about 5:15 in the morning at Marshall High School. That's how we roll, 5 o'clock. You better not be on the way, you better be there. When I worked for Smith County Juvenile Services years ago, had to drive the school bus and go pick up some students. There was no such thing as I'm not coming to boot camp. All this foolishness today, we go and get you. We make house calls. What do you mean by that? I'm glad you asked. We will go to your house and get you up out of bed and bring you to where you were supposed to be. I know it's a different day and time now, but that's just my life and what I've done. And I'm being honest. Some of those same students are parents now. Some of those same students are running businesses now. Some of those same students are living large and in charge and doing it the legal and right way because they changed. Opportunities are here for everyone. You have to take advantage of the opportunity presented to you. If you don't, students, it's not going to work out too well. Okay? How many of y'all know Chris Rock, who Chris Rock is? Okay? Majority of us do. For those of y'all that don't, he's a comedian. Okay? He's played in some different movies. Somebody name a movie he's played in.
Rush Hour.
Sir?
Is it Rush Hour?
Rush Hour.
Yes.
Mhm.
Chris Tucker. That's
Chris
Chris
Tucker.
Tucker. Chris Rock.
I know he does like the stand-up
Mhm.
Yeah, he
shows.
does the
I can't remember a movie.
what is it?
Zero.
Right. So, but he's a comedian. He said back in the day, he used to drive a hoopty, right?
And you also played in that.
Before he made it big, okay? Drove a vehicle, he was barely getting around. So, it stalled on him on the interstate one day. And he got out and he was thumbing. Cars were passing by. He was thumbing. Cars were passing by. Chris said the minute that he started pushing, people came alongside him and started to help him push. What's your point, Mr. Johnson? Again, I'm glad you asked. If we're thumbing, we usually don't get too much help. But when we start pushing, when we start trying, when we start making it to class on time, when we start putting effort into our work, when we start doing all the things that we know need to be done, people don't mind helping us. There's some business professionals here in Longview. Say, Patrick, if you ever have a student that needs some help, just let me know. All they want to see is if that student, if him or her, if he or she will help themselves. Okay? Students, I'm telling y'all, this is the greatest time for you to seize the moment. And when you walk across the stage and you get that diploma, you move on to bigger and better things. It's levels, it's steps in life. Okay? Success, a sign in my office, it says success is a ladder that cannot be climbed with your hands in your pockets. Okay? Success is a ladder that cannot be climbed with your hands in your pockets. You can make it, but you have to believe that.